Okay, and the last resolution, Assemblymember Dodd, come on down. Berryessa, huh? I've been there.
Morning, Madam Chair and members. Before I get started this morning, I'd like to thank Senator Lois Woke for being a principal co-author on this resolution, AJR 4. It requests the President of the United States to declare Berryessa Snow Mountain region a national monument. The Lake Berryessa Snow Mountain region stretches from the shores of Lake Berryessa in Napa County to the flanks of Snow Mountain and includes portions of Lake, Mendocino, Solano, and Yolo counties. This area encompasses some 350,000 acres of existing federal public lands. It is a biodiversity hotspot providing habitat for bald and golden eagles, black bears, mountain lions, tule elk, river otters, and many other species. Permanently protecting this region will ensure the animal and plant life continue to flourish and that future generations will benefit from this area's natural beauty. The region's geographical proximity to the Bay Area and Sacramento make it a major destination for outdoor recreation that is easily accessible to millions of Californians. Boating, fishing, off-roading, hiking, and camping are all major draws, and the National Monument designation would increase the visibility and interest in these activities. An economic analysis was prepared for the Winters Chamber of Commerce, and it shows that new tourism like this would bring to the region an additional $50 million and 180 new jobs for the local economies over the next 5 years. This is consistent with other studies that have been done showing increased economic activity following national monument designation. AJR 4 requests the Secretary of Interior to respect existing land uses, respect private property in the area, and consult local representatives. More than 200 businesses in the area surrounding the Berryessa Snow Mountain region support a national monument designation, as do leading environmental groups, nationally recognized recreation and sportsman groups, and all the county governments representing the region. Here with me today in support are Sarah Husby and Robert Miyashiro of Tuolumne, Eldridge Moores of the UC Davis Earth and Planetary Sciences Department, and Cecilia Aguilar Curry, the Mayor of Winters. Welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And usually we have 2 primary witnesses. Will that work for you today, or should we each?
Yes,
Madam
Chair.
Who is the mayor?
I am the mayor.
Okay, so we'll take the mayor first out of courtesy, and then we'll hear from your 2 primary witnesses, and since this is an important local issue. Go ahead.
I appreciate you acknowledging that I'm the mayor. That's great. Thank you very much.
I taught in Esparto, so I actually know where Winters
There you go. Well, good morning, and Chairman and committee members. My name is Cecilia Aguilar Curry. I'm the mayor of the city of Winters. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. The city of Winters is a small farming community adjacent to the Berryessa Snow Mountain area, one of the 3 gateway communities. The strong local support that this designation enjoys comes from a recognition of the great value protected public lands have. Permanent protection means that future generations will have the opportunity to enjoy the landscape, the flora, the fauna, and spectacular views that we are fortunate to have today. Protected lands are very good business. The Winters Chamber of Commerce recently released an economic study that demonstrated that a new national monument would have tremendous positive impact on the local economy, potentially adding up to 180 new jobs and a cumulative impact of $50 million over 5 years. I begin every day looking to the west at the beautiful Berryessa Snow Mountain Ridge. I enjoy watching the fog roll over the hills in the morning. I enjoy watching the lush green foothills turn to beige. I enjoy the pristine mountainside as the sun sets to the west. I look to these mountains and I know that I am home. This area and view I want to preserve for future generations, as do many of us in the region. It has so much to offer, yet many of my community have never had opportunity to gain access nor understand what we have out our back door. As my own perspective, every month that slips by without this designation is a missed economic opportunity for all gateway communities, the region, and the state. And please support AJ.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
attendance, and let's hear from the two primary witnesses. Who would you like to go first, Senator, or
Mr. Morris.
Assemblymember Dodd?
Chair Pavley and Senators, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. You've heard my name is Eldridge Moores. I taught geology at UC Davis for 37 years. I'm now retired. I've done field studies in Northern California, Greece, Cyprus, and other parts of the world. I support the designation of the Berryessa Snow Mountain region as a national monument. The area preserves unique on-land products of ancient tectonic processes similar to those active today in the Marianas Trench National Monument in the Pacific Ocean about 7,000 miles west of here. The Northern Coast Ranges contain one of the world's best, most accessible examples of the relationships produced in a so-called subduction zone, that is where one plate goes down beneath another like that. So you see relations between an overriding plate, oceanic crust, and off-scrapings from the downgoing plate. These deposits include ones from ancient mud volcanoes, as well as clusters of fossil shells that surround mineral-rich springs. In addition, Snow Mountain itself contains volcanic rocks that look as if they were laid down yesterday. Yet, minerals found in the rocks indicate they formed as an oceanic seamount thousands of miles from the California margin. Then they were transported to the margin, buried over 12 miles deep, and raised up once again to be exposed on land. Overall, the proposed Berryessa Snow Mountain National Monument area provides world-class, accessible exposures of such plate tectonic processes. These features are important not only for Earth scientists, but also for all people who want to learn more about our dynamic planet. Biologically, the varied landscapes, microclimates, and soils host a variety of plant types. These include many unique species that have adapted to soils derived from serpentine. Serpentine is a rock formed by combining water with rock from the Earth's mantle, and it's the California state rock. The unique floras of the proposed monument area are internationally important from a conservation perspective. So this is a unique region with world-class geology and biology. It's well worth the National Monument designation.
Thank you very much. 2 minutes for your open
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all today. My name is Sarah Husby, and I'm the Executive Director of Tuolumne, a conservation group based in Woodland, California. The Berryessa Snow Mountain region is the crown jewel of Northern California's wild intercoast range. This area is one of the most diverse, yet least known areas in the state. Permanent protection of the public lands in the region will safeguard the area's natural beauty, sensitive areas, wildlife and rare plants, and protect the scenic and historic treasures so that can be joined for future generations. There are 6 major habitat types within this region, which support an incredibly diverse plants and animals throughout the area. The region supports about half of California's damsel and dragonfly species, and it's the 2nd largest wintering habitat for bald eagles in California. At least 4 distinct Native American tribes lived within the Berryessa Snow Mountain region: the Yuki, Patwin, Pomo, and Lake Miwok. The Cache Creek Wilderness Area features archaeological sites dating back at least 5,000 years, placing this area on the Archaeological District on the National Register of Historic Places. There is a wide range of support from national monuments from more than over 200 local businesses, as well as stakeholders representing sportsmen, ranchers, off-road vehicle enthusiasts, mountain bikers, equestrians, and conservation groups all support Berryessa Snow Mountain as a potential national monument. The whitewater rapids of Cache Creek, great bass fishing, hiking, horseback riding are all opportunities that make the Berryessa Snow Mountain region a major outdoor recreation destination. A national monument has the potential to advance the local economies of the region. By protecting important open space, there is potential for creating new opportunities for economic development through tourism and recreation. Active outdoor recreation contributes to $730 billion annual to the national economy. In California, such activity contributes $46 billion to the state economy and $3.1 billion in annual state tax revenue and provides over 400,000 jobs. Given the region's natural amenities and potential marketing opportunities for a designation, gateway communities could be poised to tap into this economic engine. Located less than 100 miles from Sacramento and the Bay Area, the Berryessa Snow Mountain region provides terrific outdoor recreation and countless opportunities for connecting people with the outdoors. A national monument designation for the Berryessa Snow Mountain region will help boost tourism, grow the local economy, improve recreation opportunities, and protect important species. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all three, for your passion and interest in this subject, and congratulations, Assemblymember Dodd, on the long list of supporters. Let's see if there's anyone else in the room who just wishes to identify themselves and their organization and position of support. This would be the time. Senator Woke and
Eddie Moreno on behalf of Sierra Club California in support.
Good morning, Jennifer Fearing on behalf of Defenders of Wildlife in strong support.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Karen Lang on behalf of the Napa County Board of Supervisors and the Solano County Board of Supervisors in support. Thank you.
Kelly Ditto on behalf of California Lake Conservation Voters in support.
Bob Schneider, a resident Davis, a volunteer with Tuolumne in support.
Carol Coonsey, Napa Sierra Club, strong support.
Elizabeth Lesensky from Davis, Yellow Move On, supports this legislation. Thank you.
Carol Warren from Dixon, Yolano Climate Action in support.
Jennifer Seeger, resident of Davis, strong support.
Vern Gehring on behalf of the California Native Plant Society in support.
Robert Miyashiro, resident of Davis, support.
thank you. And I'll excuse your three witnesses because I believe, is there some opposition to this measure? No, you're just standing there. Okay, all right. You can stay put if you want to, but you're actually finished for your testimony. Thank you very much. Okay, questions by members?
I'm very much in, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm very much in support of this. I do want to ask you kind of a philosophical question, and that has to do with the recent trend of creating national monuments and putting them under different federal agencies than the National Park Service. It used to be up until President Clinton's administration that this was a very rare activity, and now the president has started to do this, and it seems to be for a variety of reasons easier, I think, and it avoids turf war battles. But I'm not sure that it's I'm worried about a bit of a dumbing down, I guess. I mean, that's maybe not a fair word to use, but a slippery slope, I think, in terms of the national monuments, which used to be integral parts of the National Park Service system. Now, I've visited, and we've created a whole bunch of national monuments under the BLM and the National Forest Service in California, and I visited a number of them, and they just simply don't have the kinds, the sort of approach to tourism and recreation and conservation that the National Park Service puts toward this work. And they're beautiful pieces of property. I mean, the Carrizo Plain and the Southern Sierras, the Southern Sequoia section that's just south of Sequoia National Park. And I'm so glad to have them receive this increased level of protection. But it's a different visitor experience than when you visit a National Park Service site, with all of the brochures and the visitor center and the support that's given to provide for families and et cetera. And from my understanding, it's actually a different conservation experience too. So I support this, but I also not that excited about this broader trend of avoiding the National Park Service with regards to the national monuments that are created. And I wanted to get a sense from the panelists about this and your reaction to that thought.
Let's see if Assemblymember Dodd has anything to say. If not, maybe you can select which person might have a.
Well, I think in a perfect world, I think you're absolutely right, Senator. That would be the preferred way to go. Congressman Thompson, who I've been working very closely with on this for a long time, has really been working hard. And the environment right now in Washington, D.C. is just not one of collaboration and working together and trying to get something done. We have felt through our partnership, and I'd like my colleagues here to to weigh in that are on this, have really felt that the overall protections of this property now outweigh any of the negative, Senator, that you I think rightfully bring up. So Sarah, why don't you?
And I know you're talking about this in the context of a boost to the economy, and I know John Laird has talked about this, but what has the BLM, for example, done to promote tourism in Carrizo Plain? And is that, are you really going to get more tourism under the current structure?
Sure, so that's actually an excellent question. This would fall under the Bureau of Land Management's National Landscape Conservation System, and it's a special designation giving to areas around the country, national monuments, national conservation areas, wild and scenic rivers, historic trails, that actually elevate them within the BLM for their uniqueness, cultural and historical values, conservation values of the region. This is a system that has been in place for about 15 years now, and it is very distinct within the BLM system. It has special signage to really make it apparent that these lands are special. So there has been an increase in tourism with designations that have been done by the BLM. A great example would be Point Arena Stornetta, which was designated last year as an extension of the California Coastal National Monument. They actually saw an increase of tourism of about 1,000 people a month coming to the area to experience the new region. It is a branding issue, and it will take a little bit of time to get that information out there and such. The Santa Rosa San Jacinto Mountains National Monument in Southern California, which was a congressional designation done by Congresswoman Mary Bono Mack in 2000, was a dual management by the Forest Service and the BLM, and we've seen it extremely successful. They do have visitor center down there. There was contribution from a private organization. The energy company down in Southern California contributed $250,000 to a visitor center. So there is potential for that also up here in this area if and when a designation would take place.
Good answer.
Answer. I hope that we could provide that sort of support, because I think the national monuments are incredibly special. I visited many of them around the country, and I suppose this is the only mechanism we have these days, given the problems in Washington. But it's imperfect, and let's figure out a way to make it truly live up to its promise.
Good comment, Senator.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a rather extraordinary area, as Professor Moores has told us. And it's important for the committee to understand that this effort to preserve and protect this land and work with the 5 counties and the various interest groups involved has gone on for many years. And I think this is not the first effort of Congressman Thompson. They've all been terrific. There was effort to create wilderness, but you deal with the Congress that you have. And I think that what's happened is that the support list that you see on 2 pages of the 5 counties just has continued to grow and study after study continues to be made, and the public monument designation, the national monument designation, is, we hope, one that the President will support. And I think it is an appropriate way to move forward. So with that, I would like to move the item, Madam Chair.
Very good. Any other questions by members? Member Dodd, if you would like to close.
Madam Chair, I just thank you and the committee for hearing this item, and I ask for an aye vote, please.
Very good. And the motion would be to adopt the resolution as proposed.
Senators Pavley.
Aye.
Pavley, aye. Stone. Allen. Aye. Allen, aye. Fuller. Hertzberg. Hertzberg, aye. Hueso. Jackson. Monning. Monning, aye. Wolk.
Aye.
Wolk, aye.
Very good. Thank you very much. You have enough votes to move it out of this committee. We'll leave it open in case other members wish to add on.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Senator Stone, I have 4 bills to present, and I want you to behave yourself. The good news is we go to lunch when I'm finished.
Okay.
Good plan.
Senator Stone is in charge.
Okay, we're now going to hear SB 13, Pavley. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Members, SB 13 really is just a cleanup bill. We found a few inadvertent mistakes, technical in nature, that we need to clean up in last year's groundwater bill. This would make clarifying amendments to the groundwater management bill and related sections of the water code. They include clarify that only high and medium priority basins not within the management area of a groundwater sustainability agency are subject to reporting requirements to the board, clarify the noticing process for becoming a groundwater sustainability agency, and correct cross-references. There's no substantial change to the bill. This bill is not a placeholder for expanding it any further. There's no opposition to the bill. It's supported by Aqua. Ask for your aye vote.
Move the bill.
Thank you. We have Senator Wolk has moved the bill. Is there?
I want to know who the staff was who screwed up on those mistakes.
Dennis.
Nobody in the room.
Are those that wish to speak on behalf of the bill at this time? Is there any of those that would like to speak in opposition to the bill at this time? Any member comments at this time?
No.
So, Senator Pavley, you'll close.
Ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. So the motion is to pass SB 13 and file number 1, pass to appropriations, file number 2.
No, just do one.
Just number 1.
Senators Pavley?
Aye.
Pavley, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Allen? Allen, aye. Fuller? Hertzberg? Hertzberg, aye. Hueso? Jackson? Jackson, aye. Monning? Monning, aye. Wolk?
Aye.
Wolk, aye. It has 7 votes, which is enough, but we'll keep it on call.
7 votes succeeds, but we'll keep the vote open at this time.
Let us hope the others go as smoothly. Maybe not.
SB 20 Pavley, welcome once again.
Yes, thank you very much. Members, this is Senate Bill 20. Those of you who've been on this committee a while may have heard this subject before, but every time a water well is drilled, the driller is required by law to provide the Department of Water Resources a well completion report with the state of California for each well drilled. That's existing law. These reports are important. They contain critical information for groundwater managers, consulting hydrologists, and others interested in the geologic and hydrologic characteristics of groundwater basins. Unfortunately, those who would benefit from this information cannot have access to it. For over 50 years, the law has restricted access to these well logs to just government agencies. Now you may think that that's fine. Well, here's the deal. Did you know that California is the only Western state that restricts public access to well logs? In fact, 10 of the 11 Western states provide access to the well logs via the internet. This is just normal procedure for understanding. Like if you're an average person, someone else has a well log, you know how far down you can drill your well and how much that costs. It's just common sense. There are some people who are concerned that this is some privacy issue. Really, in this area of groundwater management, this makes sense. I carried a bill prior to this that tried to restrict and address the opposition's concerns on privacy, to amend it to restrict access to persons with specific professional qualifications and add penalty provisions for disclosing information in the well log. The governor vetoed the bill because they want to make sure that we work with DWR to ensure responsible public access to well logs. We have done that. With the passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act last year, it is indeed time to revisit well logs. This bill would make well logs available to the public. It would require persons requesting a report to do so on a form identifying the name and address of the requester and the reason for the request. That would, DWR would have access to that information, and require the release of well logs to comply with the privacy and other provisions, and it authorizes DWR to charge a fee for the reports, a fee, not a tax. The bill addresses and resolves the various security concerns raised by DHS and CalEMA. This is an important part of the record keeping and understanding what's going on as far as wells and groundwater and all these things that we care about. This is not onerous. This is common sense. The fact that the other Western states all have this, not only require it, but also have it up online, shows that this is not a national security issue. Ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Senator Wolf.
Just very much in support of this bill. We need the data, and we needed it 10 years ago. But better late than never. Senator Pavley, a good bill. I'd be glad to move it.
Thank you.
I do have supporters when you're ready to
I'm going to bring them
hear
up now.
from.
Thank you, Senator Wolf.
Or not.
But the supporters will come forward.
Jennifer Clary, Water Program Manager at Clean Water Action. Right now, we're reviewing groundwater assessment reports prepared by these agricultural coalitions in the Central Valley, identifying the current state of information of groundwater so we know how to move forward to address the severe nitrate problems. And without these well logs, we're getting two-dimensional information. So where water quality information is available, we don't know where the wells are, we don't know how deep they are. So these highly paid consultants are making educated guesses about what the water quality is. It's crazy. I'm in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Debbie Orrs, Community Water Center, in support.
Thank you. Your testimony. Hello.
Eddie Moreno on behalf of Sierra Club California, in support.
Thank you for your testimony.
Morning, Pablo Garza with the Nature Conservancy, also in support. And I'll just note, this is basically access to information. It's just a fundamental issue. And I think with the passage of the groundwater reform bill last year, it's even more important, and it will help with the implementation of that act. So, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony.
Vern Gehring on behalf of Food and Water Watch in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Kelly Ditto on behalf of California Lake Conservation Voters in support.
Thank you for your testimony. Anybody else here in support of SB 20? If not, is there any opposition to SB 20? Please come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. Bob Reeb with Reeb Government Relations, today on behalf of the Valley Ag Water Coalition and Desert Water Agency. As analysis indicates, the information that are in these well log reports include the exact location of the well, the depth, the construction, and soil types. But in fact, making this information available for public disclosure is really unnecessary. There's little value to the general public. Right now, in addition to government agencies, consultants that are working on contamination, plume contaminant delineations and things of that nature have access to the information. In 2009, as part of the large water package, we also established the California State Groundwater Elevation Monitoring Program. It covers 96% of the groundwater pumped in California, and that information with respect to groundwater elevation levels is public information. It's available on the internet. Last year, in the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, we gave these new groundwater sustainability agencies authority to require the registration of groundwater wells with that agency. However, that law specifies that that information that's provided to those GSAs is not subject to public disclosure. And so if we pass this law, we now have an inconsistency, a conflict, if you will, with the Groundwater Management Act that just passed last year. This is also not just an ag issue, it's a concern for urban agencies. And the concern is the protection of critical infrastructure from acts of domestic or international terrorism. It's consistent, keeping it from public disclosures consistent with federal law and the directives to your water districts in California from the U.S. EPA and Homeland Security. The other 11 or 10 Western states on information and belief made that information available prior to 9/11 and prior to the changes in federal law and directives with respect to protecting critical infrastructure. And finally, as part of those federal requirements, your water districts and cities are required to prepare vulnerability assessments that then are provided to the department, well now State Water Board and the federal U.S. EPA. Those vulnerability assessments are not subject to public disclosure and under the California Public Records Act. So we have this really practice of keeping this information private, but we have made it clear since 2009 in both CASGIM and the state in the Sustainable Groundwater Management Law that the information in these well log reports is available to those governmental agencies and consultants that would require it for the benefit of groundwater management. So we would ask for a no vote on the bill.
Thank you for your testimony. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good morning. Danny Merkley with the California Farm Bureau Federation. As mentioned previously, this measure, similar measures have failed numerous times previously. With the passage of the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act last year, we feel this bill is unnecessary. It's actually in conflict with the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act and is problematic for the groundwater sustainability agencies looking to implement the act, an act that, in spite of Farm Bureau being opposed to it, we are actively working with our members to get engaged and implement the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, and this creates yet another hurdle and a problem for that. Those that need the information currently have access to it. We would submit that others could and would have ill intent, trolling for lawsuits, looking for a roadmap for theft that we've been experiencing, our members have been experiencing, that yield maybe a couple $100 worth of copper and metals at a cost of thousands of dollars to our members to repair and replace the damage. And then also disruption to water service for various agricultural operations as well as others. For this reason, we are opposed. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Anybody else in opposition? Please come forward.
Margaret Gladstein, on behalf of Western Growers Association, we're in opposition for the reasons previously stated.
Thank you.
Good morning, Tricia Garinger with Agricultural Council of California, also in opposition.
Thank you.
Lauren Hajic on behalf of California Fresh Fruit Association, California Citrus Mutual, California Cotton Growers Association, and Western Ag Processors Association in opposition.
Thank you for your testimony.
Mr. Chair and members, Kendra Dijoga with the Gualco Group on behalf of the Kings River Conservation District and the Kings River Water Association, also in opposition.
Thank you.
Valerie Nera for the California Chamber of Commerce. We're also in opposition.
Thank you for your testimony. Last call for opposition at this time. Any questions, member comments? Senator Walk?
Just a comment. I was interested in the security issue that was raised. My understanding is that in terms of Western states, are we outliers in this?
Yes. And we're the only one that doesn't have access. In fact, 10 of the 11 Western states have all the information online.
Like I said, we're 10 years out of date.
Many of our water agencies have this information available. And the testimony from the opponents has been heard several times in the past. They also didn't like the groundwater bill either. But the language in the bill, this particular bill, after the veto by the governor, the prior one, to work and have a public, the opportunity for the public to access the information. This language in the bill was negotiated with DWR, with the Department of Public Health Services and CalEMA to ensure the language does not improperly disclose any privileged information. And if you attended the Environmental Quality Committee hearing last week on injection wells, I watched from afar. The State Water Board actually testified that more open access to well logs was needed to help identify wells that potentially could be affected by improper injection wells. And so look forward to continuing to work with the opposition, trying to find common ground where we can, juggling between the governor and making sure this is complementary to the intent of the groundwater management bill. Ask for your aye vote.